She took a break to find herself slept with other men for 6 months, came back begging. I said hello everyone. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's begin the video. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. She took a break to find herself, sleeping around with different guys for 6 months, then came crawling back, begging me to take her back. I told her no. What happened next left her completely speechless and gave her exactly what she deserved. I need to get this off my chest because holding it all inside is driving me crazy. 5 years. That's how long I, 29-year-old Jake, spent building a life with someone who threw it all away chasing some fake journey of self-discovery. She's 27, and until about 6 months ago I really thought she was it for me. We met when I was 24, right after I got promoted to assistant manager at a tech startup. She was a fresh nursing graduate pulling late, grueling shifts at Denver Health. I remember thinking, she was way out of my league, this stunning, caring woman who saves lives for a living, while I was just pushing papers and managing spreadsheets. It's funny how that dynamic flipped. By the time everything fell apart, I was making about $95, $0 a year as the office manager, leading a team of over 20 people. Meanwhile, she was earning around $72, $0, but constantly complaining about burnout from the ER. Money was never an issue for us, mainly because I usually handled most of the bills so she could save what she could. I wanted us to build something solid together. Then 3 weeks ago, she came home exhausted from a tough shift. Some kid had died in the ER and she looked shaken. I held her while she cried, made her favorite dinner, ran her a bath, just what I'd done 100 times before. But this time, something felt different. She kept staring at me like she was seeing a total stranger. After her third glass of wine, she finally said, "Jake, I need to talk to you about something." Her voice was trembling. My gut knew this before my brain did. You know that chill that runs down your spine when the temperature drops 10 degrees. When your body instantly switches into fight or flight mode while you're just sitting there. That's how I feel. I need a break. Those 3 words hit me harder than any punch. I asked what she meant. Were we breaking up? Was there someone else? Did I do something wrong? She looked down, struggling to find her words. "It's not you," she said, and I wanted to roll my eyes at I don't know who I am anymore. With the hospital, everything, I've lost myself. She told me she needed time to figure out who was without being someone's girlfriend or nurse. The suitcase sitting by the door should have been my first sign that there was no discussion, just a statement. She'd already made up her mind. The suitcase was packed and she decided I wasn't part of whatever journey she was about to take. I didn't beg, even though every nerve in my body was screaming to. My pride wouldn't let me. Instead, I asked practical questions. How long will she be gone? Where would she stay? What about the lease? What about us? She kept saying, "I just need some time, maybe 6 months. I'll stay with my friend from nursing school in Aurora." She insisted this wasn't about anyone else, that she just had to do this for herself. That night she left with 2 suitcases and took 5 years of our life with her. Left me alone in our 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill, surrounded by her things. She didn't bother to pack her scrubs from laundry, her coffee mug from the sink, her hair ties scattered everywhere. I'm not weak. I run a department, make tough decisions daily, fire employees if needed. But on that first night alone, I sat on our bed and felt something inside me fracture. Not my heart, something deeper, like the operating system of my life just crashed and I had no backup. The next morning, I did what I do best. I shut it down and threw myself into work. Got there early, stayed late, buried myself in projects. My team probably wondered why their boss suddenly cared about every tiny detail, but no one questioned the guy signing their reviews. It's been 3 weeks now, 3 weeks of coming home to an apartment that feels like a museum of what once was us. 3 weeks of friends asking where she is and me explaining she's taking some time for herself. 3 weeks of obsessively checking her Instagram every night like some damned addict. And that's where it gets really interesting. Vanessa's Instagram used to be filled with pictures of her in scrubs, tired post-shift selfies, shots of us hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park, dinners, all the normal couple stuff. But about a week after she left, everything changed. First, she started posting new workout pics. Maybe she's trying to cope with everything by hitting the gym, I thought. Then came the selfies at some nightclubs, dresses I'd never seen before, in clubs we never went to, dancing with strangers I didn't recognize. At first, I tried to be okay with it. She's exploring, finding herself, or whatever that means. But last night, I saw a post that made me sit down and write all this. It was her in a bikini I definitely never bought her, on a beach in Miami with some guy's arm around her waist. The caption read, "Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself." The comments, fully supportive. Her nurse friends praising her, "Yes, queen. Living your best life. You deserve this." Deserve what exactly? A vacation she couldn't afford when we were still together. The bikini she's wearing cost more than she used to spend on groceries in an entire month. I saw a bottle of champagne in the background. I'm not an idiot. I know what finding yourself really means. She wanted to F around without feeling guilty. She wanted to live some glam fantasy she saw online, without the boring boyfriend who genuinely wanted to build a future. My boys keep telling me to block her, move on, focus on myself. And I am. I crushed a major project presentation yesterday, got a heads up about a senior manager opening, started hitting the gym at 5 a.m. before work. I even cleaned out her side of the closet and donated her junk to Goodwill. But here's what's eating me from the inside. She's coming back. They always do. When the savings dry up, when those randos stop calling, once she realizes that finding herself is just a fancy way of making stupid decisions, she'll show up at my door, tears and apologies, promising to do better. And when she does, I need to be ready, not to take her back, hell no, but to show her what she really threw away, to remind her what she could have if she hadn't decided 5 years of love, stability, and growth weren't enough. I'm not a vengeful guy by nature. I build teams, solve problems, make solutions. But there's a part of me, a part that's growing stronger every day, that wants her to feel what I feel, to understand that some breaks cannot be fixed, some paths only lead to dead ends. Now I focus on me. But I'm also watching screenshots, notes, all of it, because when this whole thing comes crashing down, and it will, I'll have proof. She wanted to find herself, fine, but she'll lose everything else in the process. 3 months later, I posted an update. Holy shit. The support I got was insane. For anyone asking for an update, buckle up, because these past 3 months have been a crash course in watching someone self-destruct. Remember when I said Vanessa was finding herself? Well, turns out her finding herself is a 27-year-old woman with terrible judgment and a spending habit like she hit the lottery. Let me walk you through these months. First month, the exploration phase. She moved from Aurora to a fancy studio in Lodhu that I know costs at least $1, $200 a month. Started posting gym selfies at some upscale gym on 17th Street where memberships go for $200 plus. Her wardrobe, it's now full of designer clothes worthy of a housewife. Month 2, the living my best life phase. She took a trip to Miami, turned into a week-long party based on her stories. Then Scottsdale for some wellness retreat, which looked more like a pool party with Instagram models. She started posting cryptic quotes about growth and knowing your worth, all while buying a new iPhone, MacBook, and everything else she can get her hands on. Month 3, the cracks start showing. The designer posts slow down. She begins showing the same small group of guys in her stories. Goes from fancy restaurants to club nights with bottle service at trashy venues. She's crying on social media about how exhausting her journey has been. But here's the thing, she only had around $15, $0 saved max. I even made a spreadsheet. Yeah, I plan ahead. And she's already blown through over $25, $0 in 3 months. The math doesn't add up unless those random dudes are funding her escape. Meanwhile, I've been building my empire. Got that promotion to senior manager, earning $115, $0 plus bonuses. Moved into a sick loft in Reno, bought that S5 I'd wanted forever, and started casually dating some women who don't need to wreck a relationship to have a good time. My Instagram. It's a showcase of success. New car, new place, high-end dinners, weekend trips. I don't post stupid thirst traps or motivational quotes. It's just me living my best life, authentic, simple, real. And then the text started, first from her friends. "Hey, how are you doing? Vanessa mentioned you got promoted, congrats. Just checking if I'm still pissed at her." Then came the accidental text, "Sorry, meant for someone else at 2 a.m. 3 times in 1 week. But last week she messed up big time. Nurses have to keep their standards, integrity, professionalism." But when she's calling in sick to party in multiple states, posting stories, and her boss, who follows her on Instagram, sees it, yeah, that's trouble. She called me crying, actually crying, not just texting, like it was 2005. "I think I'm going to lose my job." She sobbed. "HR wants to talk about my attendance." I asked why she was calling me. "Remember, we're on a break." I told her she needed to be honest with HR, take responsibility, and handle her stuff. What I didn't tell her, I already knew. Denver's medical community is tiny, and I'd heard she was on thin ice, no-shows, coming to shifts hungover, distracted. That kind-hearted nurse who used to cry over patients. Gone. Replaced by someone more worried about her next trip than saving lives. The clincher, that apartment she couldn't afford. Yeah, she's 2 months behind on rent, the safety net she threw away to find herself. Turns out that's pretty damn important. Meanwhile, I'm thriving. My team just landed a huge deal that's going to boost my bonus. I've been seeing a lawyer, someone who actually has her S.T. together. She owns her condo, drives a Tesla she paid for herself, and she thinks taking a break from a relationship just to find yourself is BS. But here's the kicker. I've kept all her posts and stories. Every photo with random dudes, every missed day at work, all her stories from Miami and Vegas. Not out of bitterness. Okay, maybe a little, but mainly because I knew this day was coming, her spiral, her downfall. And when she finally shows up at my door, I'll be ready. Because some bridges, once burned, don't get rebuilt, they just leave you stranded. So stay tuned. The final act is coming, and it's going to be spelled out in breathtaking fashion. 6 weeks later, I posted an update. Holy crap. The support was overwhelming. For anyone asking, yeah, she showed up. Not at my house, though. She showed up at my office in the middle of a meeting with our CEO and some investors. Big contracts, big plans, stuff that could make or break careers. My assistant knocked, unusual unless it was urgent, and said Vanessa was waiting in the lobby. I knew her face. She looked rough. Not homeless rough, just exhausted, like she'd been crying for days and stopped caring about appearance. Designer clothes replaced with old leggings, a hoodie I recognized as mine. She looked broken, like life had hit her with a semi-truck. "We need to talk," she said softly. "Then talk," I replied, checking my watch. "You've got 4 minutes. Suddenly, she broke down, full ugly, crying in front of everyone. The security guard started to step closer, but I waved him off. Let everyone see. What happens when you gamble with someone's heart and lose? She told me she lost her job because of attendance issues, no-shows, being hungover at work, missing shifts. She's evicted, maxed out her credit cards, and that guy from Miami. Married now, his wife found her on social media and filed for divorce, with Vanessa's name all over the court documents. Scottsdale guy. Only wanted her around for bottle service. Now she's crashing with the same friends who pushed her to leave me. She kept saying, "I effed up so bad, I just wanted to feel alive again." The hospital was suffocating her, I get it. Routine drowning all of it, so she jumped ship. But then she got brave enough to tell me, "I know you're doing well. Maybe we could try again. I've changed. I've learned my lesson." All that changed. Her bank account, more money, more opportunities. I looked at her, the woman I once planned to marry, who I supported through nursing school, who I held when she was scared. And I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness. Just cold, clear understanding of my worth. "Vanessa," I said loud enough for everyone in the lobby to hear. "You didn't lose me, you threw me away. You packed your bags, left, and spent 6 months screwing anyone who'd buy you a drink. You told everyone I was controlling, boring, that I held you back. You said you needed to find yourself," I continued. "But all you did was find new DKs. And now, when the money's gone, the parties are over, you want to come back." She tried to speak, but I wasn't done. "I found someone too, Someone who doesn't need to destroy 5 years of love to figure out who she is. Someone who believes stability and commitment aren't boring. Someone who's building a real life, not wasting savings for Instagram likes. Then she whispered, "Please, I have nowhere else to go." I told her, "Maybe think about that before you left the only person who cared." I started to walk away but stopped just long enough to say, "Oh, and Vanessa, next time you want to find yourself, try looking somewhere other than between another man's sheets." Security had her escorted out, and I went back to my meeting. Closed the deal. I told the CEO how I handled her. He said I showed executive-level composure, which I guess I did, but I wasn't finished. See, Vanessa made a critical mistake. She forgot I'm not just good at spreadsheets, I'm good at strategy. All those screenshots I kept. They became proof when she tried spinning her story again, pretending I abandoned her, calling me heartless, saying she dodged a bullet by leaving me. So I did what any man with integrity would. I set the record straight. I posted on Facebook tagging her and our mutual friends. "Let me clarify," I wrote. "You left. You chose the party scene over a real relationship. You chose Instagram likes over genuine love. You wanted to find yourself, and now you're paying the price." The truth is, the only cold thing here is the reality of her choices. They have consequences. Good luck, Vanessa. I sincerely hope you find someone worth loving someday. Meanwhile, I post a collage of her in the last 6 months. Beach shots with random guys, club videos, captions about living my best life, while she was supposed to be working. Her family, they started asking questions. Her sister reached out privately saying she had no idea she was being manipulated. Her father, a proud Filipino man, cut her off completely, furious about her dishonor. And the guy from Miami, his wife saw my post, connected the dots, and filed for divorce, nomming Vanessa in the proceedings. Turns out there are real consequences for messing around with married men, beyond karma. Last I heard, she moved back with her parents in Colorado Springs with nothing. No job, no savings, no future. Just a bunch of online memories and the pain of realizing she traded true stability for that 6-month live-wire chaos. Me, I'm good. I've got a lawyer who's smarter than I am, planning a trip to Bali. My career keeps climbing. Life's good when you know your worth and don't settle for less. Vanessa's out there serving champagne at our engagement party. Hell, I might tip her well because she taught me the best lesson of all. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Peace out, brothers. I found my queen, and she's right here building a life based on trust and respect. The woman chasing herself still roams behind closed doors, serving appetizers to the life she left behind. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you like what you hear, share, like, subscribe, whatever. Just remember, be careful what you chase because sometimes you find yourself alone.